listening to the Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On the Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811 is our message line number. Same as it's always been since the inception of the show.
After taking a week off, feels like that intro feels like slipping on an old comfortable shoe.
Doesn't it? It really does. We're
back where we should be. Everything is right in the world. So, to our dear audience, I hope you've not missed my input too horribly much.
It's been 2 weeks since you and I recorded. It's been 3 weeks since Jeff, you and I recorded. And it's been 2 weeks since I even sat in front of the mic.
How long does it have to be before we just consider Jeff to be AWOL?
I don't know. So we got a text this week, and Jeff claims he's painting a house this weekend.
Jeff also claims that he's reading our text messages, but he's not.
But he doesn't respond to them. So... You know, every text group I've been a part of has that one guy that puts you on block.
There's only 3 people in our group.
Yeah, well, that group. Anybody. So I've got other text groups that there's always that one person.
Wait. You're cheating on me with other text groups.
I am. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to find out this way, Tombstone.
Oh no, it will never be the same between us.
So we are Jeffless tonight. But he is supposedly painting a house. Now, do you remember the episode that he talked about how much paint he bought for his house? Was that on the air? Was that on the air? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
When he ordered like 35 gallons, he bought 35 gallons of paint for his house.
I might buy some of it from him. Dude, I guess it depends on if my wife and his wife have the same taste. Because my taste doesn't even enter into it.
I think he said it was an off-white, so it's probably an easy taste, right? I mean,
maybe. I'll run it past the spousal unit.
Right. You only have to drive, 1,200 miles to get it.
Nothing.
So we had our Connecticut adventures this week, or last week, I guess it is now. We traveled from Nebraska to Connecticut for my grandfather's funeral. I appreciate anyone who was sending out prayers for those. We had a safe trip, uneventful except for the whining, screaming children in the backseat of the car. But it was a great trip. The culinary adventures on the trip, though, Tombstone. Ooh, they were good.
Did you get some New England seafood?
Well, we stopped in Chicago for deep dish pizza again. We then progressed to Connecticut, where we had let's see, what did we do in Connecticut? Oh. So on our way to Connecticut, it's like 7:00 in the evening on a Tuesday night. Yeah, on a Tuesday night. Okay. We stop at or maybe it's Wednesday night. We stop at Katz's Deli in downtown New York City, as in freshly sliced pastrami on rye with house ground mustard. Oh,
how
my
much did
goodness!
That cost you?
I don't want to talk about that because Alyssa may be listening.
Was it expensive?
It was probably $20 for a sandwich.
How? So I've never been into the city.
I mean, it's expensive.
Is it hard to get to?
Well, we blew one toll.
So that's yes.
$15 to go through the Holland Tunnel.
Holy smokes! I don't think I could. I can't even afford to travel to New York, much less live there.
So we busted through the Holland Tunnel. It was only like 2 miles from the Holland Tunnel, and Alyssa. So get this. Hertz wanted $15 a day for me to be on the policy, for me to be on the car. So Alyssa's like, I'm driving the whole way. So she drove the entire trip. And so we're in New York City, and she's driving through New York City. And New York City is a maze.
You were the jams master.
I was. I ran Spotify the entire trip. It was fabulous. So yeah, Katz Deli. I jump out of the car. I run into Katz. Alyssa proceeds to drive around the block 3 times while I'm getting my sandwiches.
Because there's nowhere to park.
Because there is nowhere to park. I mean, you could double park, but you'll get screamed at.
I'm actually looking at the street corner in Street View here because I can.
Yeah.
And it looks like the building it's in looks very old school, but it's just the corner. It looks like the rest of what used to be there is gone.
Probably. And in fact,
and there's a parking garage directly behind that they're building, or an office. Maybe it's an office.
I think it's an office building, because why would you build a parking garage in a busy city?
Yeah. No. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Why
It
would you
doesn't
do
make
that?
any sense in the world.
Not at all.
So we got cats. We actually ate it on the road. I don't even think we stopped. It was
Did the boys get some too?
Trevor liked the bread. Myron didn't really like the meat.
So that's a no.
So,
or is that a yes? That's a yes.
Yes
and
no. I mean, look, man, it was 9:00 at night. They were sick and tired of driving in the car.
I can imagine.
And so we finally.
So was that on your way in or
so
on
that
your
was
way out?
that was on the way in to Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
On the way into Connecticut. So
I don't know if I could have made that stop because that's not on the way.
It is. No, it is.
It is on the way?
We boogied
Okay.
straight across I-80.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
So I-80 drops you out like at the George Washington Bridge. So we just did a small deviation south to the Holland Tunnel, bounced across to southern Manhattan where we hit the east side where Katz is.
Gotcha.
And then from Katz we hit the Beltway going up the East River and jumped up on a bridge up there up onto 287 out to 95. So it honestly wasn't too bad. The traffic wasn't terrible. Alyssa did a fantastic job driving it. We hit this place called The Place. That was fire roasted seafood. And their kitchen,
so old school.
So the dining room is big round chunks of plywood. And you sit on stumps outside.
Okay.
And the kitchen is literally a fire where they cook the seafood and corn outside.
Yeah.
Everything's outside.
Okay.
And they did everything from clams, lobsters, mussels, everything. It was incredible. They did a great job. Some of the best corn I've ever had. You look over at them cooking the corn, it's flaming. It was great stuff. The most memorable experience from the trip was we were standing on the USS Nautilus. Now you're familiar with the USS Nautilus, right? First nuclear submarine that the United States built went under the North Pole.
And where is the base at again?
That's Groton, Connecticut. And so you've got the Groton sub base there, and that's the fast attack boats.
Yes.
Kings Island is where the missile boomers are, where the boomers are.
Okay.
And so this is the fast attack subs up out of there. And we are walking out to the Nautilus, and I meet this kid, and he's walking past like 18, 19 years old, right? And he, for some reason, just starts talking to us because Myron was curious and stuff, and he's talking to Myron, and the guy turns to me and he's like, "Yeah, man, there's a sub that's going out right now, and you guys will probably get to see it." And I was like, "Well, when?" And he's like, "Well, it should be like literally now." We are standing on the deck of the Nautilus, the United States and the world's first nuclear submarine, and a fast attack sub gets escorted out of the sub base right past us on the Thames River there in New London, Connecticut. It was one of the most surreal experiences I have ever experienced. I've seen subs before out of there. Like we were fishing and like one comes like right past us, and you're like, what is going on? Nice. I mean, you're out on a boat, and all of a sudden the sub comes past you, and you're like, hey. And just a weird experience. But this was even more weird. I mean, you're standing on a nuclear submarine, and just it was so cool, man.
I think I've seen one submarine in Charleston.
Yeah,
going in and out of there. Maybe I may have seen two, but it's been a while.
It's a fantastic experience. Yeah. I mean, you've got this stealth piece of technology that no one other than a select few have actually seen the interiors of these boats. And they go out from our ports, they disappear for 6 months, and then come back.
Yep.
That is just, what a weird experience. What a weird. My grandfather was a submariner. He taught at the sub school. He taught torpedoman classes. He was a torpedoman. I forget the number, but he pulled the lever on a bunch of ships.
Yeah.
And interesting story. He claimed that he's pretty sure they got one American sub as well.
Wow.
Just by accident. But yeah, that's my grandfather on my dad's side.
There was a lot of stuff going on in the Pacific at that time. Those guys they operated completely in the dark.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the times. Metaphorically, they didn't have any intelligence on where they were going, and basically their only orders were stay out for X amount of days,
find the Japs,
and sink enemy shipping.
Yep.
And I can't remember if we talked about this on the show, but one of the most haunting things about World War II for me is reading about the hell ships, the Japanese prison ships that they used to transport prisoners.
Oh yeah, man.
The different islands.
Yeah.
And a lot of those prisoners were civilians, and Dutch.
Yeah.
Both civilians and men that were captured under arms. And there was one episode where an American submarine sank a prison ship that had 5,000 people on it.
Yeah,
5,000 prisoners of war.
They didn't know. I mean, there was no intel.
No, they actually did know.
Oh, no kidding.
And this is why it's so haunting, is because the situation was so bad in 1942. The balance of power was so on edge that it was deemed to be an acceptable loss just to get that edge in sinking.
Wow,
Japanese
that's scary.
shipping.
That's scary.
Most modern Americans can't really fathom that. I mean, we've lost a little over 5,000 people in now 17 years off and on of shooting in the Middle East, and that loss, most people don't even know about it.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right.
So
you're right.
There's a different. The scale of sacrifice was completely different.
Yeah, my grandfather was based out of Western Australia, Perth.
Yeah,
I think for
those
three tours, I believe.
Yeah,
joined up when
Very
he was like 17. Was over there. He was actually the Mariana Islands. He was there. He was there, Guam, when we liberated Guam, when we liberated Saipan and Tinian and stuff. He was there. He said they walked on the island after it happened, like after everything went down.
Wow.
They were able to get off the boat, shore leave, and go on shore there. And if you remember Saipan and Tinian, those are the islands where the nukes were loaded up that got sent to Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
A lot of history there.
A quick Google reveals to me that there were 16,000 submariners that served in World War II.
Yeah.
Of those, a little over 3,200 were lost in action.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was usually an all or nothing,
which is wild. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But the Germans had it a lot worse. The Germans had 30,000 men under arms in submarine warfare, and they lost 20,000 of them.
Yeah.
And I think most of the ones that survived because they probably couldn't get fuel.
Submarine warfare is not for the faint of heart. I mean,
no.
Did you ever see the documentaries of the submarines of the submarine fortresses that the Nazis built in France?
I don't know if I've ever seen a documentary. Most of what I know about the North Atlantic, I learned watching Victory at Sea in the 90s on PBS with my dad.
Okay, yeah. So they built these sub fortresses where they'd park their subs inside with like 20-foot concrete ceiling, 20-foot concrete like shells around them, so that if they were bombed while they were being refitted in these armored dry docks.
They're called submarine pens.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as I said, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for I don't know. Anyways, trip to Connecticut was a fun trip. When we come back, I hope you're coming back too, Tombstone.
I'll be here.
I want to talk about you and your home improvement projects because, well, there's always a story.
I need so much help.
Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Barkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Ah!
So
in the words
of my late friend Aretha Franklin. Show some R-E-S-P-I-C.
Don't bust in on Al Sharpton.
I would not.
Misspelling words.
I would not knowingly do something
Of course you wouldn't.
like that.
What? I gotta ask Tombstone, you show up on we get an ominous text from you last night.
Yes.
I should have been at urgent care or something. I mean,
I was trying to go to urgent care.
You were trying to go to urgent care, and then you show up today with a giant bandage on your pinky.
Yes. So,
Tombstone, what happened?
Yesterday, I was trimming the hedges, literally, not metaphorically, and I was borrowing my neighbor's hedge trimmer.
Okay.
He was actually helping me, which was very nice.
Tell me about these hedge trimmers. I gotta get a visual, like gas powered or electric powered.
No, it's electric. It's an electric reciprocating blade.
So like
it's just like almost like a chain, not a chainsaw,
like the old turkey cutter, like the old turkey cutter knives that you use at like Thanksgiving.
Yes,
like that, but with the blades on both sides to cut the hedges. Okay,
that's exactly so.
That's gnarly. Yeah. Those are gnarly, man.
Yeah, it works really well. It works fantastically
on trees and on small appendages. Yeah.
So I was almost done, and I had it. There's a little button you can flip so it'll keep running even though you're not pressing the trigger.
That seems like a really bad idea.
Well, it's got a lot of vibrate to it, so it does help to kind of be able to shift your grip and move up and down and whatever, side to side, shake it all about. And I was having to reach up with one hand to shave the very top of the bush, and I pulled it back down. I went to grab the hand guard, and I missed, and my pinky hit the blade. And it cut right through the tip of my pinky. It did not. It hit the middle. It didn't cut it off. It just split the skin about, I don't know, maybe a quarter inch worth.
Wow.
And it didn't. I don't think it hit the bone. It just got the skin and the flesh, and it didn't get the nail.
No kidding.
It could have been a lot worse. It could have been much worse.
How bad is it? Hurt. Like, is it? I mean, did you end up getting to urgent care?
Did I not send you a picture?
No.
Okay, hang on just a second. I'm
okay, I like this. I like seeing pictures of this stuff.
You've already seen the after. Now you're going to see the before.
Yeah. So right now it's all band-aided up. I mean, it's all wrapped. You did make it to urgent care this morning, right?
Eventually, yeah, this morning.
Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, it's gnarly.
You can see that it wasn't just a cut. It's kind of open.
Yeah, right. So did they stitch you or?
They stitched it up. So, and this is where it gets a little bit funny. So I go to urgent care this morning. I was able to find one that opened around 8, and I got there a little after 8.
By the way, urgent care for the win. I love urgent cares.
Yeah. And they look at me and they're like, well, it really needs to be. I say, can we glue it? Can we clean it and glue it? And they're like, we can try, but because of where it is and all this stuff, they're like, it looks
like it was like a pretty big flap there.
It wasn't really flapping, but it was kind of gapping.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna stop.
We apologize to the listeners for doing such a description of his injuries here.
It wasn't going to heal right.
Yeah,
we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So it may still not heal right, but I think it will. So they were like, we really need to stitch it up.
Yeah.
So they tried doing local anesthetic. Well, I mean, it's all local, but they tried doing a soak, and it really did not work at all. So they stabbed me twice with a needle in my pinky finger, numbed the whole finger, and that still hurt. But they had to sew it up anyways. So the doc told me she thought I might be anesthetic resistant, which is not something that I wanted to hear.
That's not cool,
you
man.
You want to hear, we'll give you a little bit ahead of this and you'll be out in 5 minutes.
All right.
Not you're anesthetic resistant. We're going to have to use more.
Did I ever tell you my adventures getting my wisdom teeth out?
No.
Like they couldn't knock me out with the gas.
So that doesn't surprise me. Do you have redheaded people in your family?
Well, my beard's redhead. My beard's red.
So there's something about redheaded gene that is corresponding to anesthetic resistance.
Really?
From what the doctor told me. And I have redheaded people on my mom's side.
Huh.
So
now we know.
Yeah, I'm not as bad as you. I have been knocked out for oral surgery before.
Yeah.
Now I did wake up once during oral surgery as well.
Oh,
so
man.
Who knows?
That's rough.
But it was bearable. I didn't cuss. It just really hurt.
I bet. Anytime they're poking at you though, man, and
Yeah, I watched them do it. Like they're poking the suture needle. I mean,
See, I can't watch that.
That's very. You know what? I don't know why I watched.
I don't really have a problem
because it made it worse. But I was intensely curious, morbidly curious.
Having worked on a farm and everything, like I have no problem with that stuff on other creatures.
Yeah,
but man, when it comes to people, and watching it on people is not too bad as long as there's not like a ton of blood.
I think part of the reason I watched because I wanted to see if it was actually going to hurt when they poked me.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make any sense. But it did. Newsflash, it hurt. I don't know if looking made it hurt worse or not.
Yeah,
but it hurt.
Telling you, man, worse.
But it's all sewn up. I have to go back in 7 days to get my stitches out. Hopefully, it's all nice and.
They're going to make you go back to get the stitches out.
Yeah, it doesn't cost me anything though. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, but still, why go back? Just
I'm not gonna hack at it myself. I'm just not gonna do it. The Minute Clinic is literally 5-minute drive away.
Okay,
I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, yeah, I guess I hear you. Okay,
so
I have a question for you based on another text you sent me like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now you probably don't remember this.
Probably not.
But I'm gonna bring it up anyways because I was supposed to bring this up 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
and I had it written down on my big old chalkboard here.
I'm concerned because this sounds like it could be really funny, and you're going to ask me, and I'm going to have no idea.
You made the comment. Hey guys, I think I'm going to shave my legs.
No, I do remember that actually.
And that's all you said. You left it at that, and I didn't.
Okay.
I left it there because I knew we had to talk about it on the air.
Okay, so I'm not especially hairy. I want to get that out there first of all.
I mean, I'll take your word for it.
I'm not.
As I said, I'll take your word for it. I don't need to prove.
I don't know if you've ever seen my bare legs.
I don't recall.
It's like I'm blocking it out.
I mean, we're both pale white boys, so yeah, I'm probably blocking it out.
We're both called the pasty crackers. Anyways, listen, when I sit down with a package of Ritz, it's basically cannibalism. I'm glad you enjoyed
that. That just slays me.
Anyways,
slays me.
All right, so some of y'all may remember I am training for it's called a aqua bike. So you remember last year I did a triathlon. And I had hoped to do more triathlons, and I didn't.
So you've currently done
because
one,
everything in my personal life except this show went to heck after August.
Stability, man.
Stability. I have stability here at the front porch show. It's a happy place to be. So I spent a lot of time on the bicycle, and my wife, for my birthday, bought me a book called The Rules. And the rules are, it's like 115 or 120 rules for the sport of bicycling. Now,
I think we talked about this a little bit.
I mentioned it on Facebook. I don't know if we talked about it on the show. I posted a picture of it on Facebook. Some of you may have seen it. So the rules is an ad hoc set of rules for the sport of bicycling. Now, there are bicyclists and there are bicyclists, and I'm definitely a tourist, not a hardcore bicyclist. But the guy goes on and on in a nearly homoerotic fashion about how good your legs are supposed to look and they're supposed to be shaved.
So you taking advice from this book, you're considering.
I want to be hardcore, so I'm thinking about shaving my legs and see if it can make a performance difference. Along with wearing more Lycra.
And Lycra is like tighter. The spandex.
I've already got the spandex shorts.
So this is tighter than spandex?
I wear shorts on top of my shorts. No, the Lycra is the spandex. It's the same stuff.
And it's got so many things I can say right here that I just.
So all right. So
are you gonna gain any noticeable speed though by shaving your legs? Like seriously,
I'm not gonna know till I try. That's what I'm saying. It's an experiment.
Yeah, but so here's the problem. Isn't it gonna grow back like more dense than?
I have to keep shaving it, Aaron.
I think you should wax it. I think
no wax.
I think you need to go and record for the front porch show you getting your legs waxed.
I'm gonna get a little pink razor. I got to get a leg razor because men's razors are not going to do the trick. I need a heavy duty razor like women use on their legs. My razor for my face is a fine implement. It is not designed for shaving leg hairs. If you don't believe me, let your wife use your razor for a week and let me know how it feels on your face afterwards.
I don't even know how to I'm Tombstone, I am speechless.
I've succeeded in making your hair match.
We'll be back. I'm done.
Did you see where Biden wants to take me to the back of the barn? Me. Some things in life you could really love doing. I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair.
I really am very smart.
I am a young, vibrant man. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. We will make America great again.
I love the minor key. That's glorious. At first, for about a half a second, I was like, wow, Aaron did a really, it kind of is kind of good. And then you had the minor key change. I'm like, ow. Okay.
Yeah. I can't believe you've never heard that one. That was a couple months ago.
No, I must have just missed it. I definitely never heard that one. I would remember that.
Isn't that wild? Well, that's okay. It's good. I had a Biden one too, but it was a little dirty. Biden's creepy, man. And
he got curb stomped by Kamala Harris.
Who? Oh, in the debates, yeah.
In the debate, yeah, man. Well, did you not see this?
I did. Unfortunately.
Okay. We need to try and find. I would like to, because I haven't actually heard or seen this. I've read it, we will, like so many things.
Let's try to find that for the debate segment. But first, I want to talk about North Korea.
Oh,
I want to talk about Rocket Man. No,
I'm skipping ahead on the script.
I know it's okay. It's okay. Script,
dude. All I think about is politics.
You got to stop that.
That's not
it's
quite
gonna be
true,
bad for your heart.
That's. I was just told my blood pressure is great.
Tombstone, this week, Donald J. Trump is the first U.S. leader to enter North Korean territory. Now hold on, back up on that. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump is the first. Both. Or both. Which I think I'm falling into that category right now. Mm-hmm. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump is the first leader to enter North Korean territory.
All right.
That's incredible. Yeah.
I have a question.
I like questions.
So, and I actually have an answer for this.
Okay.
I have a take on this, but I want your opinion. How do you compare this to Obama's legitimizing the Iranians by sending them a huge pallet of cash?
I think this is very different.
Okay, I agree.
Obama never went to Iran, never tried to actually meet with the
He did say he would meet with the mullahs without preconditions, though, but he never did.
But they kind of put their conditions, and he sent them billions of cash.
Ben Rhodes did,
or quote unquote released their money, which some people claim was.
I'll tell you what I think the main difference is. I think liberals have been on Twitter today saying that we are legitimizing basically a regime of terror, because Kim, I can't. His name is
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un has done some pretty horrific things, even in the last 10 months since we started talking about this, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think the key difference here is Trump playing to Kim's ego. Absolutely, he is. But I think the reason Trump is doing it is solely for the purpose of getting a true détente between the two countries, which is something that Obama never even came close to doing.
Well, so I hate to throw shade on him that much, but I saw pictures.
Obama?
I saw pictures of Obama at the DMZ, standing behind 3-inch bulletproof glass, with binoculars staring over the DMZ.
Mm-hmm.
That was the closest he ever got.
Yeah.
Whereas
the Obama administration really seemed very uninterested in actually doing anything with
Korea.
Okay,
so Carter.
whatever. I don't really hold that against Obama. I have so many other things I hold against Obama, but not
so
that.
Carter and Clinton tried to do stuff over there with them.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so Clinton gave away our nuclear secrets and taught them how to make nuclear plants, which essentially gave them nuclear bombs.
Right.
Carter has always been, let's have peace with them. Let's have peace with them. And then I'm sitting on Facebook this afternoon, and I see a tweet come across, or on Twitter, excuse me, by Kamala. How do you say your name?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. And says, this president should take the North Korean nuclear threat and its crimes against humanity seriously. This is not a photo op. Our security and our values are at stake. What do you think he's doing?
That's the thing. I feel like Trump has actually established a rapport and started a legitimate détente. Like, these things don't happen overnight. They work on a progression, on a continuum, right? And Trump has ratcheted down the continuum several steps.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, we may find out differently at some point, but I don't think
I'm sitting there going, here's the peace-loving supposed left, and it sounds like they're beating the war drums. All of a sudden, I'm hearing Kamala Harris and John Bolton getting together. I'm like, we're in war, Trump. War.
Oh, not those two.
War.
Do you even know what John Bolton sounds like?
I have no idea.
I'm going to make you go listen to him on YouTube so you can do a correct impression.
So there's this beautiful mystery there.
You're doing like the general from the General Auto Insurance or something.
That's a good point.
That's exactly what you're doing. I think it's the mustache. You're confusing the two.
You mean the general from General Auto Insurance that Shaq does the commercials for as well?
I think so, yeah.
Which is so weird. So weird. How do you think this ends, Tombstone? I mean, it does.
It may not end in the next few years. It may just be continual back and forth.
It seems like more progress than we've ever made.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we'll probably not be able to judge this for another few years.
How much control do you actually think Kim Jong-un has? Like, I mean, we know he offed his brother.
It's possible he may not have very much.
I mean,
remember we discussed that maybe that the junta there behind him is kind of trying to pull the strings.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
It just seems you got to remember that people only have as much power as we are willing to give them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we allow people to have power over us. Same in the United States. By following the laws, we allow them to have power over us. Okay, it's a rudimentary way of thinking about it. I mean, they do wield power. They wield power, and if we don't follow the laws, we will go to jail. But we give them that right to wield that power over us. We do not have to acquiesce. And I just can't help but think this kid, this guy's like 36, man. He's our age.
Right.
He's our age. And I just don't think, why in the world would all these military leaders give this guy power?
Well, they got to have a figurehead because they had the patrilineal.
That's true.
They had the patrilineal descent problem. I mean, that's probably, if they're trying to keep him contained, that's like the chief problem they have. They can't just get rid of him because the Kim family is considered to be gods in North Korea. So
it's true.
I don't know. There's honestly a lot of stuff I couldn't even guess that on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it is complicated. I admit that, but when I see the left, Kamala Harris, for obvious political points, hitting the president because of this, when the left has been shouting, "Oh, we have to," when the left was the ones who gave them the nuclear, plans.
Yeah,
China. Here's the thing, China's crazy. Okay.
I mean,
you remember Korean War was a proxy war between China and the United States, okay?
Right.
Regardless of how we want to split it up, Korea was a terrible situation.
Right.
Okay? It was a terrible situation. We were, quote unquote, fighting communism, but we were actually fighting the Chinese. And the Chinese were supporting the North Koreans. Okay?
Right.
Okay. So there we have it. The Chinese wouldn't even give the North Koreans nuclear plans.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. The Chinese, as crazy as the Chinese country Communist Party is, they had enough sense not to give the North Koreans nuclear, the nuclear capabilities. And we're like, well, if we give it to them, they'll have peace. Because, nuclear always brings peace. Kind of. In a roundabout way.
Parody.
Tombstone, I just, there are times I just want to run my head into a wall.
Well, let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Speaking of nuclear energy, when we come back, I want to talk about Russia. Did you see Russia has launched a nuclear power plant boat? Like, it's a floating nuclear power plant. We'll be right back.
My brother was cleaning up the stalls out there for Troy, working for him. And they call and want me to come around there. Well, when I get there, I realized that they're already drunk. One thing led to another, and before I noted, there was knives, guns, everything just went haywire. They cut my beard and forced me to eat it.
Tombstone, I have no idea what that has to do with Russia, but Russia seems like the Wild West of countries.
Something like that, yes.
I have this, like if you were to label, like, all the different countries as certain areas of the United States, like, Russia just seems like it would be like the redneck, just like, I don't know. That's what it seems to me. It just seemed fitting. Seems like something a Russian would do. Cut a beard before someone else to eat it. I don't know.
Maybe.
It just,
cut off someone's finger and force them to eat it.
And I say that as a proud redneck, by the way. No insult to our redneck brethren.
I'm not sure what to say to that. Russians scare me because they're not like us.
They aren't.
I don't mean this in a an MSNBC Russian collusion manner, because I think almost nobody in the mainstream media actually really cares how Russians think and operate, because if they did, they wouldn't have mocked Mitt Romney when he said that Russia was our number one geopolitical ally in 2012.
Do you remember?
I'm still bitter about that, by the way.
Do you remember the Russians in at college?
I didn't know.
Did you ever hang out with them? No, really?
I only knew one of the Romanians.
We had, I think, in my society, which, for the benefit of the listeners, was kind of like a forced joined fraternity that wasn't really a fraternity,
and not nearly as much fun.
No, that's. We did not get in as much trouble as I would have if it was a real fraternity.
Were they nice?
They were awesome. Yeah, they were awesome. Were
they rednecks?
Yeah, kind of, a little bit. My most memorable remembrance of them was the sauna in the field house with the Russians, hanging out with the Russians in the sauna in the field house.
Okay.
And yeah, it was cool. Yeah, but they were,
So
they love their saunas.
Were you taking us somewhere in particular?
I'm taking you to Russia, Murmansk, to be
Murmansk.
Okay. Yes, there's your Russian. I knew you had Russian.
I have a really crappy Russian accent,
and we are going to talk about
FPS Russia videos back in the day.
I just watched U-572 The Widowmaker the other day. What a great movie, by the way. Harrison Ford and
what's that about?
That's the Russian sub that they launch too early, and supposedly it's a true story. They launch it too early, and there's just plagued with issues.
Is that a Clancy novel?
No, I don't believe it is. So it's Harrison Ford and what's the Scottish guy from Taken? Liam Neeson. And so they are Russians in the movie. Okay.
What was it? U-572?
Yes, U-572, The Widowmaker.
I'm actually really intrigued by that.
It was a great movie. So
I thought you said it was a Russian submarine.
Then it wasn't U-572. It's no. U-5.
U is a German U-boat designation.
Hold on. There's
a 571. There's
it's 571. It's U-571.
Okay. Very close.
No, that's the Enigma one. That's the Enigma movie. What is the?
Oh yeah, you're right. Is that the one where it made it look like the Americans did all the work?
Now I'm angry that I just botched the whole.
We're still chapped about this
Russian movie.
We have a mystery to solve, so that's almost as good.
Oh, K-19. I'm sorry, it's K-19, the Widowmaker.
You're mixing up your submarine.
Yeah, so U-571 was the diesel U-boat with the Enigma on it that we stole.
Yes.
K-19, the Widowmaker, is Liam Neeson and Harrison Ford.
All right, I'm tracking now.
I feel so much better on that one.
Your mental cabinet files straightened out in correct alphabetical order.
Anyways, it was a great movie, and anything nuclear sparks my interest. Okay. For some reason or another,
So it takes place in 1961.
Yes.
Obviously long before Chernobyl.
Yeah. Yes, it does. And this is they basically were plagued with reactor issues. They ended up with a young reactor operator straight out of reactor school. Supposedly, the story is real. Not sure, obviously, if it went down the way that they portray it. But you know.
So when was this made?
This was made in 2002.
After the Cold War.
Yeah. So
fascinating.
It's very possible that it.
Okay. So all right, I'm going to take a complete tack here. Can you tell me your favorite Cold War movie?
Favorite Cold War movie?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a personal favorite because of my father.
And by Cold War, I do mean dealing with the Russians, not with like Vietnam.
Hunt for October.
Okay. I mean, that's a very good one.
So my love of that movie is my dad worked on the Los Angeles.
Okay.
He actually did tin work on it at General Dynamic.
Tin work?
Tin work. Yeah. Did air ducting.
Oh.
Air ducting.
It's gotta be
because they need air supply on the sub.
So I'm trying to remember the movies I've seen, and it's honestly I feel like I haven't seen a lot of really good Cold War movies that are set in like 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
I've seen the Holcroft Covenant.
If you want to call this a
really
Cold War movie,
spy story.
I mean, if you want to call this a Cold War movie, this is one of my favorites too.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Firefox?
I don't think so.
It's actually quite good. It's an old Clint Eastwood vehicle.
Vehicle.
The basic plot vehicle is it's an excuse for him to get on screen and do manly things.
Yeah. Which supposedly he's all done, man.
He's still producing movies though.
Yeah, but he claims he's all done.
He's doing one right now about what's he doing? He's doing one right now.
Did you see The Mule?
I haven't seen The Mule. It's on my list.
It's one of those movies that you watch and you're not happy with it when it's over, but it's good.
So
very No Country for Old Men-ish.
I'm gonna come circle back to that in just a second. Cold War. So Firefox is about an American fighter pilot who was shot down in Vietnam. He's rescued, and they smuggle him into the USSR to capture a plane off the runway sitting at a Russian military base.
That's kind of awesome.
It's kind of awesome. It's a little bit far-fetched. I watched it on AMC one night, which is how I've seen most of my movies.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 1977.
In my parents' living room between 10 and 2 in the morning.
It's a 1977 movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's old.
Yeah, it's old. I really enjoyed it.
And so it would be... Let's see. It would be... I'm trying to find it here in the... Hunt for October. Oh, interesting. There's a whole bunch of Cold War movies I had forgotten. Wait a second. Oh, what? No. That's not a movie.
Can we classify Red Dawn as a...
It kind of is, but it's like dystopian future.
It's more of a meta. It's more like a meta.
Yeah.
So I punched in Cold War movies for the Google.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't give me much that actually looks interesting to me.
A lot of books.
Red October's in there.
Have you seen Hunt for October?
Yeah,
you must have. You must have.
You know what though? I got to tell you, I enjoyed the book a lot more than the movie.
Yes. Well, the book, Tom Clancy, man.
The movie's not bad.
The book goes into much more detail.
It's got like 10 times the material.
Yes. Well, right. I would have been fine with Hunt for October if it was a 10-hour movie.
Something that Tom Clancy goes into a good bit of detail on in his various books is the sort of relationship that American professionals and Russian professionals get for each other.
Yeah.
They kind of have this grudging. You see this in the submarine services, you see it in the intelligence services, and so on.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to me because I feel like Clancy had quite a bit of kinship with the Russians, but in his books, you never see him treat them as anything but with respect, right? There's no like propaganda like the Russians are idiots. We could obviously steamroll them. It's more like the Russians have cultural problems, but they're incredibly clever and incredibly dangerous. You would not want to underestimate them.
Yeah, I'd go with you on that one.
So I've read a few different Clancy novels. I've read The Bear and the Dragon. That was the last one I read, and I said I'm not doing any more because it was terrible.
Okay, full circle here. We got to get back to floating Chernobyl.
Yes,
Murmansk. The Russians last month, or I guess this month, after 2 decades of construction, launched their first floating nuclear reactor. I guess it's technically a nuclear barge. It is a floating nuclear reactor, floating nuclear power plant.
Okay.
And they are sending it 4,000 miles away from Murmansk to Pivek. Now, I looked up Pivek.
Is it a small place?
Small does not even describe Pivek, Tombstone.
Pivek, how's it spelled? I gotta look it up now.
It's Pevek. If you bring up your Google Maps satellite view, you will see Pivek is there's a bunch of Russian housing there.
There's exactly one crossroads there.
Track homes.
So it's on the other side.
I mean, it's a mining town. It's a mining town. And that's what it is.
So why are they sending the ship there?
Because by doing so, they think they're going to entice more people to go there, so that they can supply settlements and companies extracting hydrocarbons.
It's a really tiny place, and it looks very cold.
Yeah, man. So I have this. I've been doing this weird research project. I think it would be incredible to travel from Cape Hope to Cape Horn. And I may have mentioned this on the show before.
You can't drive there.
Theoretically, you can't.
What do you mean theoretically?
Theoretically, you can't. But what if you could?
There's a lot of water in the way.
Okay. So, you travel up Chile all the way up to the Darien Gap in Panama.
Yes.
In Panama, you then cross the Darien Gap, whether it be on foot or canoe, on land, on land. No ocean travel there.
Right.
Because you got to get across Darien Gap, which is the roadless area between South America and North America.
Right. It's not a mountain gap. It's a road.
You
gap.
then travel up to Alaska, which there's still no roads there. So you have to somehow get across there. And then you have to get across the Bering Sea, which is 50 miles of open water, which freezes over during the winter. And people have crossed that. They have crossed it. I've done my research.
No thanks.
And then you have to somehow travel through no man's land, Russia.
You have to find a place to get your passport stamped.
Well, right. And so obviously a lot of logistical legwork would have to be done.
Your chief issues here are going to be polar bears and Russians.
It could be. And so the most difficult place to cross is Russia because it's 2,000 miles.
Yes,
of mountainous, hardly any roads. It's all mining roads and stuff. Down to finally Mongolia and China, where then you can finally get in there and somehow make it across into Kazakhstan and the Middle East. Which then there's no guarantee you'll actually be able to cross there because you'll probably die. Then you work your way down through Africa down to Cape Horn.
Right. Cape Good Hope.
Cape Good Hope. I'm sorry, but yes, I think it would be a fascinating thing.
That would be a very long trip.
It would be. It'd probably be a year or so. But I think it'd be incredible, and it'll never happen. But it's just one of those cool things to dream about and be like, hey, that'd be awesome to do.
So I punched in
Pivek. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's literally absolutely nothing there. There's an airport. There's with no planes there, and there's a couple other little towns around Pivik. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing there.
Right.
And so they're going to park this nuclear vessel right off of the coast.
Did you just say vessel?
The nuclear vessel. Hats off to Chekhov from the new Star Trek series, who
got it.
May he rest in peace. Yeah. Anyways, there's people claiming that the Russians haven't learned anything since Chernobyl, and I don't know if that's exactly true. I think the Russians learned a lot from Chernobyl.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, anyways, I think it's a great idea. I think it's potentially dangerous.
I don't know about a great idea, but it is definitely an idea. I give them props. I give them props for effort.
There was a couple of years ago. So we had a nuclear reactor. I believe it was in the Arctic for a while. That we were running up there. That we flew in or something. And then there's been a couple tests done in some Alaskan towns where we've actually put mini nuclear reactors.
Huh.
But that way to provide them with super cheap power, because otherwise you're having to truck in fuel by plane, and trucking 55-gallon drums by plane is not very cheap.
No.
So yeah, anyways, they've called the Chernobyl on ice, the floating Chernobyl.
I would like a pocket nuclear reactor for my backyard.
So, and see, it brings us to the bigger existential issue, though, Tombstone.
What is that?
We as humanity have taken something great, something amazing, and turned it into something really questionable. Like,
what did we turn it into?
Well, nuclear bombs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've taken this beautiful,
that point wasn't too hard. That point wasn't too hard for me to grasp. I just failed.
No, you totally missed it, though.
Went right past me.
It made for good radio, though, Tombstone, and that's what we always strive for.
That's all that matters.
I don't know. So, anyways, this fascinates me so much because Russia. You always see Russia as this like questionable technology, old school, and they're actually showing they're showing the inside of the ship, and the control center is extremely modern. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing facility.
Is it air conditioned? That's all I care about right now.
Does it matter?
It does.
In north in Pivik, it probably doesn't matter, Tombstone.
It probably gets hot inside the ship, though.
Does it? I don't know. I mean,
I might be worrying about that just because of my present situation.
You've got 35 megawatts to cool the ship.
Just need some refrigerant.
I mean, that's some solid.
That's all you need.
That's some solid AC, man.
Yes, it is.
This thing is huge. Did you scroll down and see the picture on this article?
I saw some of them.
I mean, it is massive.
Yes.
Absolutely massive.
It's quite a big thing.
$450 million.
Looks like they've actually just bolted 2 holes together and built a building on top of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I think you're about right on that. It's going to be interesting. Obviously hope there's no disasters because of it, but they're saying that they need to start building them in serial production to make them economically viable, because it just costs so much to build.
Right, to design.
But I think it's fascinating. I think it's very cool.
Cool.
Anyways,
best of luck to you guys.
Random
nukes.
Cool thing from Russia that I cared about. I thought was interesting. That who knows? I don't know. Maybe someone out there listening will like it, be interested. I don't know.
It was not always a given that the United States and America would have a close relationship.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer.
It's Mr. McMillan. Would you like 30 seconds more?
Allow me to introduce myself. The rent's too damn high.
Tombstone, did you waste any of your life the other night? Well, one of 2 nights last week.
So I actually... It's really hard for me to get like an hour or 2 hours, whatever it is, to watch a debate. I kind of wish I'd been able to, because it sounded like it was, as the kids say, fire.
It was lit.
Yeah.
Yes. It was.
I think my job as an elder millennial is to say that in as awkward a fashion as humanly possible.
Yes, I think
and
so
make
too.
everyone else around me awkward as possible.
It was awkward. I'm feeling it here.
That is my version of fire.
Yes, very nice. I did spend an hour watching it. I was stuck in where was I stuck? I was stuck in Chadron, Nebraska, which is way out west, like 5 hours to the west of me, currently. And I was stuck out there for work, and I flicked on the TV. I was eating dinner, and I didn't have the energy to change the channel.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that hit me, Tombstone. Now,
you must have been very low energy that
it was like a 13-14 hour day with a time change, so it was rough.
Time change?
Yeah, mountain time, man. I
got you.
Yeah. And
gotcha.
So I ended up gaining an extra hour of my day because of that. So it was.
I'm tracking.
Turn an 8 hour day into a 8 hour day into a 9 hour day, or a 10 hour day. 10 hour day into a 11 hour day, or 11 into a 12 or something. I don't know.
I can see your brain is still feeling the effects of this episode.
Tombstone, it was 1,600 miles in 2 days with 50 inspections out there.
That is
terrible.
That is hustling.
It was rough. So anyways, I'm out there, and a lot of you guys know, I've mentioned it before on the show. On the weekends, I play a video director at our church. And, it's a lot of weekends I'm directing live video. Other weekends, like today, I got the opportunity to run a camera because we were short-staffed. And so, yeah, we run a full production live video of our services on Sunday. 2 services. 3 hours total between the 2 services. I want to tell you that from a production standpoint, my teams that I work with could have done a better job production-wise.
Maybe you can host the Democrats when they come to Nebraska.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure you would love that.
I volunteered to produce and direct the next Democratic debate. I don't think they'll take me up on that offer.
They should.
They should.
They can fly you out to wherever it's at.
I'm good with that. I'm cheap too.
So did you hear or see that Andrew Yang had his mic cut off? Did you notice one way or the other?
I didn't watch it that close, but I did hear the aftermath of that.
I mean, that's the only reason. I would only watch the debate for Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard.
He got about 2 minutes, maybe. I don't know. It wasn't even that. It was very, very little. I mean, he took a couple quick hits on people.
So apparently, go ahead.
No, one of the major issues was they didn't have enough cameras, and so they were
because there was 40 people.
Because there were 40 people on stage, and so there was one time when they're on Biden, and then the camera just swings to another person. Terrible, terrible form. You don't do that.
Yeah,
but it's because they were told they got to chase the person who's talking. So they immediately swung the camera. There were sound issues. There was other issues. And so it was just terribly unprofessional. And so the fact that his mic was out, I don't know if it was them actually colluding against Yang, or if it was just they had terrible audio in the room,
right? And
had to cut all the mics because they would have had terrible feedback.
I'm not sure if I'm hearing gunfire outside or fireworks or both.
It's America, man. 4th of July.
Hearing evil screeching.
The time has come. It's a Roman candle.
So Kamala Harris curb stomps Joe Biden.
Joe Biden was an absolute failure,
which is kind of hilarious because he's still leading in the polls.
So they jumped on him. The moderators jumped on him and said after the whole immigration thing, and everyone on the board said they wanted to give all of the illegal immigrants free health care. He was asked about him and Obama deporting 3 million Hispanics back to Mexico and South America. To which he kind of was like, "Oh crap!" And then he started out by defending Obama.
Do you think he expected to get a question like that, or do you think he thought it was going to be cake?
I thought he was going to get softballed, and I was actually shocked that they asked him that question.
Yeah,
because
was it the moderator that asked
it was a moderator who asked the question. And so he immediately defended Obama. He then went to
he has to stick super close to Obama's legacy, because Obama's legacy is his legacy.
Yes.
And not to put too fine a point on it, but Obama's blackness is his blackness. And as long as he stays close to Obama, he's safe.
Yeah,
But-
no, you're right.
But
You're right.
so Obama only really has his staying close to Obama only has two things that he has to look out for.
Yeah.
One is the deportations and the fact that the Obama administration started putting quote unquote children in cages. The second item is that Obama drone striked a ton of people.
Yeah. And so
but if he can dodge those issues, he might toddle all the way to the White House door.
So obviously they were,
or at least the inauguration, or at least the what am I looking for?
The nomination.
Yeah.
It was, as I said, it was interesting to watch. I thought Tulsi Gabbard did a great job. I like her. The problem is she is anti-gun. She is
I would never vote for her.
anti-capitalism.
Between her and Trump, I'd never vote for her.
But it's like, look.
I have a really juicy piece of gossip for you. You're gonna love this.
About Tulsi?
Yes.
Oh, tell me.
It's not salacious. It's just funny.
It doesn't matter.
She dated someone else in the Democratic candidate pool. You want to guess who it was?
Oh,
you get two guesses.
Couldn't be Biden. So that's out.
Nope.
No, well, obviously that's not my guess. I would say Buttigieg, but that would be weird. And so that leaves us Yang.
Nope.
Which I'm going to go with a hard no on that because I believe he's married.
It's actually the one you would least suspect.
Cory Booker?
No.
Oh.
A flaming heterosexual who definitely has a boyfriend. Cory Booker. Or definitely girlfriend.
That's Tombstone at the front show, frontporchshow.com.
No, she dated Eric Swalwell.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I don't know how long. I don't think it was a really long deal.
Why?
But he went to her wedding because she's
okay. Now. I mean, Kamala Harris dated Governor Brown from California. That's how she got appointed to her first.
Dated.
That is how she got appointed.
I'm doing the biggest air quotes in the history of air quotes.
That is how she got appointed to her first.
Dated is not the word I would use for that relationship, Aaron.
She got appointed to the medical board. This is a family-friendly show, Tombstone.
Aaron's like, I'm not getting into this.
This is a family-friendly show.
Favors were exchanged.
I'm not saying she worked her way to the top, but I am. I'm just saying.
I want to make a horizontal versus vertical joke here, and I'm not going to do it.
This is a family-friendly show.
I'm absolutely not going to do it. Okay, but I don't think they dated very long, and I saw that reference by a reporter from Hawaii. So
that's fascinating.
But she's happily married now to some dude. I had no idea who it is.
Yeah, whatever. Good for her.
But it's just funny because
I'm just saying.
I wonder if he's running. I wonder if he's running because she's running. He's like, I can do this better than my ex. I can make this work, but he's doing terrible. He's pulling like 0.000%.
Well, yeah. Is it shocking? No,
because he's a dork. He's a nerd, and he doesn't present well at all.
So back to the Kamala Harris thing. Okay,
that's all I judge. I don't want to by now. Are they nerds or jocks? That's all I care about.
I don't want to.
It's secondary.
I don't want to dwell on her exploits.
I love how you're not cracking open my expert analysis here.
No,
it's okay.
I heard you. I think you're solid on that.
It's cool. It's cool. It's all right. It's fine. I don't have to get anything else off my chest.
Andrew Yang, nerd or jock?
Nerd,
definitely. Gabbard, nerd or jock?
I still like him. Gabbard's jock, no question.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
Buttigieg?
She has no nerd credentials. Buttigieg, nerd.
Okay.
I mean, is that even
Warren?
Close? Nerd,
definitely nerd. Definitely.
The other thing about Warren is she's kind of old. That's not a reason that I dislike her. Like, it's fine. Like, I would honestly, if Elizabeth Warren was working as a professor, or was my friend's grandma who made cookies, or whatever, I would probably really enjoy talking with her. But as it is, she's a grasping totalitarian, and she must be defeated.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't disagree. Wow, yeah, it's an interesting thought.
I have some cutting edge analysis.
No,
on Donald Trump.
so how do you feel about someone like Kamala Harris who is apparently going against every law that she defended as a public prosecutor, and is now,
what are you talking about?
No, like so weed, for instance, that's a big one. That she she put more people in prison for weed than I can't say she personally. Under her,
Kamala Harris is one of those special cases where what she says is really not that special, but what she's done is kind of marker for life.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, so her first appointment was by Brown, wasn't by Brown. Well, I guess it was by Brown, to the medical board in California or something like that, right? And then she started climbing her way to the top from there, and it just seems like the way she's gotten to where she is just kind of super sketchy.
I mean, it is, but there's also no doubt that she's a driven and a very dangerous person from a professional standpoint.
Well,
like she's not there because she's a joke.
No, I think of the top candidates on the DNC side, I think she's got at least a chance.
I don't get, and this may change. I don't get Obama vibes from her. She actually seems to me about as dangerous as Obama, and I actually think like Obama was not dumb. I can't remember if I've told you this.
See, I always thought Obama was just a little smarmy.
He was very smarmy, but he was also very intelligent.
Yes, without a doubt.
Did I ever tell you the story that I heard third hand about Obama when he was in Charleston?
No, I don't think so.
So I heard the story third hand, but Obama attended a fundraiser in Charleston. This is in like 2012, 13.
Okay.
Someone I knew someone who was there. She said Obama greeted everyone on the way in, got their names, and then greeted them by name on his way out. Having memorized the names and internalized them in time at the end of the dinner to say goodbye to them on the way out.
It's smart. That's really smart.
Now that is a memory trick. Like anybody can actually learn to do that, but still.
It makes an impact on someone though.
Exactly right.
When they're like, "Oh my goodness, the guy running for president remembers me."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Take my money."
So whatever else, Obama's not an idiot. But
no.
Kamala Harris, I actually get a very dangerous vibe. I think she would probably be a pretty ruthless, competent president. So, but the problem is,
my concern is her policies would be very antithesis to what we would like to see.
But I don't even care about that. I'm past that. Like,
well, then
it's all bad news
for that matter. I mean, we're at the same point with the Republicans right now.
I do. I have some cutting edge Trump analysis. Do you want to hear?
Do you?
It?
Yes. Tell me.
I lifted this from Twitter, and I do not remember who said it, so I apologize. Trump is like having a Uber driver who's a crackhead.
Okay.
He's very motivated and driven. The problem is you have no idea where he's going to go next. You might go good places, you might go bad places, but the reason there's no internal consistency is because there is no internal consistency.
It's interesting. I mean, you've got a point.
It's not the worst analysis.
No, it's not.
Oh man.
Okay.
It's like why is Trump supporting the Saudi Arabians' war in Yemen, but he's also working for détente with North Korea? Why is he ratcheting up a relationship with Iran?
Yeah,
I don't know. I really don't know.
4D chess, man.
I mean, I don't like the Iranians. I have worse feelings about the Iranians than I do about the.
I think they're a bigger threat than North Korea.
But hopefully the State Department's not being run according to my feelings. If it is, we are all in deep trouble.
That is very true.
That's all I had to say about the debate.
You had okay, no, you're just final questions here. Final questions, Tombstone.
Yes, lay it on me.
I want to know, as things sit right now, after the debates, after what you've seen or heard or whatever, who's your pick for the Democrats?
It's really hard for me to take a pick. I'll take a pick, but it's probably going to change in 3 or 4 weeks.
Bernie, you like Bernie?
I think Bernie is doomed to fail. There's a 0.0% chance that Bernie gets the nomination.
They cannot allow him to win.
Bernie is toxic. So Bernie and Biden are both toxic in the really far left wing of the party.
They cannot allow him to.
So here's
Bernie
the dichotomy. So here's the dichotomy between what happens in the Democrats, and I'll compare it to what happens in the right. From my perspective, I could be mistaken. The left has very active fringe. Their fringe seems way more influential than the right-wing fringe. The right-wing fringe is mostly confined to Facebook groups and internet forums, and they're locked out of the actual halls of power. Yeah,
yes.
4chan.
Yeah.
On the left, the Twitter is very active online. They have a lot of money. They donate, and they show up and they yell a lot at events.
Yeah,
the
do.
fringe right does not have this. And if you want to follow a good person on Twitter, David Hines is a really good person to follow, who talks about this extensively because he's a right winger who lives in LA, and he follows and compares these dynamics. So, anyways, all that to say, the left is in way more danger, if you want to put it that way, of being drugged to the left than the right is in danger of being drugged to the right.
So yes, I agree with you on that.
And that where that matters in presidential campaigns is that if you have a candidate that's really toxic to that 20% of really left-wing Democrats, then they're going to drag the entire conversation to the left in service of getting what they want. And that is actually exactly what we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years. It's going to continue. The Overton window, not globally, but in terms of left-thinking people, the Overton window of what is racially and politically and in terms of what you're allowed to say in print on the air has been drugged drastically to the left. And now we're seeing that in full play with Biden, because Biden said something vaguely nice about old racist white dudes he used to work with in the Senate back in the 70s. Whereas Kamala Harris, who is like, what is she, 15, 20 years younger than Biden?
Yeah.
She was bussed across Los Angeles as part of the busing.
Yeah.
So there's a generational difference and there's a political difference, but those things are rapidly converging. And it's going to be very interesting in the next 2 or 3 years.
So who's
it's going to be hell for all of us.
Who's your pick?
Nobody's going to enjoy this. I'm going with Warren.
Warren, really? Wow.
Warren is not. She's not Harris, but she has a lot going for her. But now Warren versus Trump. Bad news.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris might be able to beat Trump.
Oh.
I don't think Warren could, because every time she gets up, she's going to be Pocahontas.
I realize this is a moonshot.
Yeah.
And if you've read any of her tweets, you'd know what I'm talking about.
Tell me. You're talking about.
I'm pulling for Marianne Williamson.
Dude, she seems like a very nice lady.
She just.
I would actually love to meet her in person.
Honestly, me too. I think she's just nuts. Somebody
said on Twitter that you could probably pinpoint what street she is on LA by what she's tweeting about.
I do have an email out to her people, just so you know. I mean,
that would be amazing.
Seriously, I think if anyone, Trump's obviously running again. What's his face isn't going to get the nod from the Republicans. Bill Weld.
Can we talk about what a terrible human being Bill Weld is for a minute?
Go right ahead.
Bill Weld. So y'all remember, like, the last days of the 2016 election was dark days. Okay, right? Because Hillary was like, why aren't I 50 points ahead? I don't know, like Hillary's like, I'm 15 points ahead. Why aren't I 50 points ahead?
That's your Hillary voice?
That's my Hillary voice.
That's the most amazing Hillary voice you've ever used. Or I've ever heard. Like, that may be better than her Hillary voice.
So Hillary's like, why aren't I 50 points ahead? Trump's like, you're terrible. And then you have Bill Weld, who's saying to everybody, you should definitely vote for Hillary Clinton instead of voting for his running mate, Gary Johnson.
He was running on the Libertarian ticket with Gary Johnson. And he's a former blue dog Republican. Can you even call him that?
Can we, after this segment, can we segue into an article about why the Libertarian Party is the way it is? We don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I don't even know if our audience actually cares about our erstwhile libertarian leanings, but
Too bad they're going to.
So, well, Bill Weld.
We're going to make them like it.
They're going to like it.
They're going to like it.
Bill Weld's a bad libertarian. So is Jerry.
He's not
Johnson,
a libertarian.
Well,
neither is
like
Gary Johnson.
Yeah,
I've got to.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's come back and talk about dumpster fires.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about dumpster fires because I love dumpster fires and. We are back for another segment of the Front Porch Show. If you haven't already, go to our Facebook page, like it, follow it, do all those fun things, contribute. We love it when people contribute to the fun pictures and stories on the Facebook page. Also, Instagram. I post different pictures to Instagram than I do to Twitter and to Facebook because Instagram is just such a better photo site. So if you're curious about what I am up to or what different members of the show are up to, check out our Instagram page. Just go to Instagram, check out the Front Porch Show on Instagram. Also, if you are listening on an app, any app, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeart, whatever app you are listening on, can you do us a favor and go to the subscribe button and click subscribe? And can you also go to the comments and reviews and just drop us like a 5-star or a 10-star review, whatever your app allows you to do. We want the most possible. More is better. So this is not golf. This is not like golf or golf where the lower score wins, and this is not like soccer where the lower score typically wins.
No.
This is like football or basketball where the higher score wins. So we need great reviews. That actually helps us. We are in the process right now of working to gain some radio stations and add them to our market, and we use your reviews in order to say to these radio stations, hey guys, these people like us and they want us to be everywhere. And so we want to be everywhere. Unlike the Libertarian Party.
Unlike the Libertarian Party, who wants to stay home and smoke weed.
Who wants to stay home in their mommy's basement, smoke weed, and watch the dumpster fire unfold. Did I...
yes. I have an article.
Yeah, okay. Share the article, Tombstone.
So this is at thedeclination.com. I have no idea what this website is about. It is somewhere in the dissident right sphere, but this article is very good.
All right.
And the thesis of this is that libertarianism isn't one movement, it is actually two movements.
Okay.
So I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the show before, but if you've met me in real life, I've probably heard me mention a book called Albion's Seed. Albion being the old name for the British Isles. And the book talks about how there are actually two separate cultures, or four separate cultures in America going back to the olden days. This touches on that. I'll get to that in a minute. One of those is what is basically hillbillies. So I'm just gonna read a paragraph here.
Okay.
Libertarianism one movement is two. The popular political branch that actually got people elected and polls well in the Southeast is based in the classical Anglo-Saxon system as carried on especially by the British Isles border peoples, which is one of the things talked about in the book, that's borderers. And basically, this mindset stopped evolving at John Locke, his writings are what the Constitution is based on, and the Declaration of Independence in particular. When founded in the U.S., this philosophy was reactionary. It was a restoration of the rights of Englishmen and the small local systems that the border Welsh, Scots, and Irish were used to. So you have volunteer fire departments based on the militia system. You have sheriffs with real law enforcement power instead of a constabulary. You have common law rather than large bodies of code, which is what we have now. And then there's intellectual libertarianism instead of what he's talking about, practical libertarianism, which continued to evolve, especially in France, Germany, and Spain. So you get your John Henry Mackey's, I don't know who that is, but linking libertarian political thought was sexual promiscuity and pederasty, something that would have got you lynched by the quote unquote libertarians of Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, intellectual libertarians run the movement such as it is. And there's actually kind of a civil war going on, has been, but I don't think we're winning. Politicians and elites are far more likely to gravitate towards intellectual movements based in the French and German philosophy than they are to say, hey, maybe those rednecks and hillbillies have preserved a great system from history and we should adopt it. So you get the think tanks and college professors pushing quote unquote respectable libertarian thought that is atheist due to both French Revolution era and German influences, sexually promiscuous behavior, experimental sexual behavior, radically atomized individualism, right?
Yeah.
Instead of community individualism, the little platoons. And the people that this philosophy attracts in the academy and in young political life are white upper middle class degenerates because it gives them permission to be freaks without giving them the obligations to the worker from classical communism, the obligations to the progressive stack from the Frankfurt branches. And it's not talking about libertarianism here. It's talking about flavors of progressivism.
You're getting real deep here in the philosophy.
Sorry. And it also does not give them any obligations to God that like you would get in social conservatism. So, dude, weed is actually their ideal sales pitch to the classical Anglo-Saxon border libertarians. But because they think they should be able to have their hedonistic experiences as they choose, they link up with hillbillies who say, you think Washington can tell me what crops I can grow, screw you, right? And that's a solid point of agreement, the weed thing, as is shrinking government intervention broadly. But the hillbillies, their basic stance is leave me the heck alone. I can get by just fine. And the intellectuals are more leave me alone. The child consented in any way. I'm raising average wages worldwide by making cheap crap in China without any trade barriers.
People listening to us right now, they probably don't understand the deeper existential issues going on within the Libertarian Party. And Tombstone actually brought those up. There are people within the party, and so
the best way I know how to put it is that sexual libertinism runs hand in hand with libertarianism, and that's basically what this is about.
Yes.
Not necessarily, but broadly.
Yeah.
This is why
I tend to agree with you on that.
This is what I find, right? So I'm Scots-Irish ethnically. I come from mountain people who and Civil War veterans, and some people who did not fight on either side of the Civil War, as far as I know. And my inclination is we need a smaller government not because I want to get away from things, but I'm afraid the government will do things to me or to my family or things of that nature.
Which is the so I made this comment before.
So my approach to libertarianism is to the point that I was a libertarian, which was I consider myself some flavor of libertarian for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was to that point is not that I need the government to back off because I don't want to have to ask permission to live my life the way it is. It's more of an existential fear that one day the government's going to be too big to control and it's going to eat me alive anyways.
So I guess I fall into both categories, like from what you're describing right there. I
don't think you should have. I'm not, even though I'm not in favor of. I don't think you should have to ask the government's permission to make a living. Like I'm in favor of getting rid of occupational licensing and stuff like that.
So like we've said on the show before that we fall into that classical liberal group, which is that libertarian light.
And I do believe it is an absolute truth that the founding fathers would absolutely be considered libertarian today.
Yes.
The founding fathers, broadly speaking, with a couple of very notable exceptions, were not libertines.
Yes. There you go. Okay,
they were not hedonists.
The problem is
they would have viewed ordered liberty as you are also fulfilling your moral obligations while you are constraining the government to be small enough to be drowned in a bathtub.
The problem. Wow.
Metaphorically speaking,
I'm cutting that from the show. That is an amazing quote. That is an amazing quote, Tombstone. Wow. So the modern Libertarian Party right now, the Big L Libertarian Party, is more libertine than anything else.
Yes.
They are very hedonistic. They are free the weed, free the the consent age laws. They are, and so that's honestly part of the reason why I left the party and the circles was because of the debauchery I saw and the number of neckbeard creeps out there who were talking about, who were debating, who couldn't do anything more than debate how much, how free the cocaine should be and how much they should, and how they should be able to, well, and this is a quote I read, and the person has been turned into the police since then. Quote, well, she didn't say no.
That's terrible.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
So if I could elaborate on this just a little bit more. So there's a guy I follow on YouTube called Luke Smith, and he's I think he's from North Carolina. He's actually a Linux guru, if you know anything about computers. And Luke actually did a review of Albion Seed, and basically what a lot of our modern I got to be careful here because Aaron's from New England, but
that's okay.
The Puritan,
we do have listeners in New England, so just
okay. Well,
let's be cautious for them.
New Englanders, my heart goes out to you, especially my Vermont friends there.
We love you guys, but this might be hard for you.
So basically, what it amounts to is the what he calls the Cavaliers, or what Hackett Fisher calls the Cavaliers, which is the plantation culture, versus the Scots-Irish hillbilly borderer culture versus the Puritan landholder culture from New England. All had different ideas of what order liberty is. So when you read documents about the Civil War, Civil War too, but the Revolutionary War, everybody's all about liberty. There's actually a subtext, and I was not aware of this till recently, that liberty actually means different things for different groups.
Yeah.
So
okay. So just to stem off that, hold on one second.
And that's the same.
Did you see the? Did you see the? It's been going around Facebook lately, and I just to what you said. You just said that the meaning of liberty changes from person to person, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Group to group. Definitely.
Okay. Group to group, person to person. Obedience to law is liberty. Worcester, Mass, on the courthouse.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, exactly. I can't believe I saw that today and was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
It's perfect. So, and that's actually a biblical quote, right?
It's based in some biblical. Yes.
Yeah, that's basically based on a quote from I believe it's from the Psalms.
Yeah, and so it was actually, I guess it was used by Washington or something. He was motivating the troops.
Yeah,
and use that, but liberty did not mean what they were. Is
right?
Not exactly the same.
Those guys would have never dreamed of a government that was big enough to do everything our government does. I don't think they would have. They were very more interested in the rightful order and the rightful place of things, and their inherent right to their own government. Right, but they were not anti-government. Like those guys would not have been they would not have been anarchists. They would not have said we're going to abolish all government. They wanted a government that they could, I don't want to say control, although that was part of it because they were all wealthy landowning men for the most part. But that's a whole different conversation. Well, at some point we're going to have to talk about why the franchise is originally conceived was not that bad, but. Democracy. We were sold a bill of goods on democracy, but I digress.
That's okay.
That's okay. So anyway, different ideas of liberty. So for the Puritans, the church had a huge amount of authority in daily life, right?
Which is fine. This is fine. So here's my thing. If you voluntarily put yourself under the authority of something.
I don't know how voluntary it was for a lot of people. I'm just saying,
if you voluntarily put yourself under that authority, then, okay.
So, but for a lot of New England history, the church had a huge amount of authority. They could compel you to go to church. They could compel you not to do sport on Sunday, fishing and hunting and so on.
Well, even in South Carolina, you can't hunt on public land on Sunday.
They could compel you to tithe. So those are things you had for a long time. But the New Englanders would have, I don't know if that was still going on in Revolutionary War days. Did you still have to be on the rolls of a church to vote in New England in the 1780s?
I don't remember.
I'll have to find that out, because that's way more of a big thing up there than it is here. Like, nobody cares where you go to church down here, as long as you go. That's the main important thing.
Right.
You have to have a church. True. Even if you never go, you have to have a church. But where the church is not really matters much. Whereas in the Low Country, in the Virginia Tidewater, in the South Carolina Low Country, the cotton plantations, they would have viewed slavery as part of the natural order, and part of their natural liberty would have been to keep slaves.
Yeah.
In the Scots-Irish Highlands, there in the hillbilly country here where I live, their idea of liberty would have meant making whiskey and not paying any taxes on it. Do you see the differences? Which I still think that's liberty. I mean, I agree with you. Like, we're on the same page on that one. So, but all that to say, so in the libertarian movement, there are deep cultural differences, and those cultural differences go way, 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 way back to like 1640.
Yeah.
So,
oh, absolutely.
And here we are. Audience, I hope that was mildly educational, at least somewhat entertaining for you.
So I had a run-in with the libertarians this week.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, a little bit. I follow Nicholas Sarwark. Snarkwork.
As you say, yes.
On several different media things, and we're having this issue with this woman. I don't even remember her name. From the U.S. soccer team, who doesn't want to go to the White House.
Oh,
she had some nice, flavorful words to say about Trump, and Andrea Ocasio-Cortez jumps on and says, I know you don't want to go to the White House, but we'll invite you to the House of Representatives anytime. And the woman responded back that she'll take her up on that offer. What?
I don't care.
Anyways, I got mad, okay?
Why did you get mad? You don't have enough mad to give away.
Tombstone, I really don't, do I?
You don't. You have two tiny boys.
I'm pretty chill. No, like, it really got on my nerves, because we've lost all decorum in our country. Like, there used to be a time when you respected the person for the office.
I agree with you, but they would say that we started it.
But it's so frustrating though, Tombstone, because here you have this person who's representing the country screaming hate about a president. And it's like,
but she would say that President Trump is a serial sexual assaulter and he's not due any respect. And if you believe that he was a serial sexual assaulter, then you would be, and so you have to act that way.
So here was my comment.
We're dealing with alternate realities.
Here was my comment to the people who piled on me from the Libertarian Party. They completely excoriated me. I ended up having to delete the post because I was afraid I was going to get doxxed. Which is something.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was getting a they
Good grief.
I
mean, they should. They were
piling on hot.
I'm not going to say my thoughts about doxing.
They were piling on hot and heavy, and I was getting really nervous. Anyways, so I posted. I made the comment that if Putin,
they knew you had a radio show.
The problem is if they went to my Facebook page, they know. So good for them. Maybe they're listening to this week and that we're talking about the dumpster fire. They are. Yes. If you are listening, bring it. Now I'm a little nervous. No, I made the comment that if Putin or Castro invited me, I would go meet with them.
Yeah.
Why? Because I would be gaining an audience.
You're curious. Yeah.
I'd be gaining an audience.
Right.
With a world leader. And maybe I wouldn't have the opportunity to present my case right there and then, but maybe that would open up the opportunity to future exchanges with that person in order to, start a dialogue about the cause that I need to talk about.
Yeah.
And I would not deny any world leader or any congressman an audience.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. Guys, a congressman or any U.S. leader who wants to come on this show is more than welcome to. I am more than welcome to entertain that. Obviously within reason. We can't just have a show full of people doing crazy interviews We're socialists.
Not any crazier than usual.
No, of course. But seriously, I just think it's a form of respect. I think we're too. Are we that gone as a society that we lost all respect for people, that we can't actually talk with them and have a dialogue, even if we disagree with them? I think we're at that point, especially politically. We don't want to talk to people. We don't want to talk to each other. If someone disagrees with us, we don't want to talk to people. And that was honestly, that's the inspiration for the Front Porch Show, was the free exchange of ideas, even if we disagree. You guys heard 6 weeks ago when Jeff and I got going at each other. That was a nasty spat. I listened to it again the other day. We just went at each other.
We should definitely have you guys fight.
It was a fun time. But you know what? I gained respect for Jeff out of that because we talked it through. We actually talked. We found common ground. The next week we made up, and it was a great experience.
Yeah.
So civility, guys, civility. I don't have an issue that she's not going to the White House. That's not the issue. But she could do that without being a foul-mouthed woman.
Yeah. A nasty woman, as Trump would say.
Yeah, a nasty, nasty woman. And it just, as I said, she can do whatever she wants. It doesn't matter to me, really. But out of respect, I think she should go, or just don't say anything about it. Just don't go. You don't have to make a scene. You don't have to go all Kaepernick about it. I mean, we saw what that did to his career. But anyways, I'm done.
They deliver in other ways, but they want to deliver vast amounts of information over the internet. And again, the internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes. And if you don't understand, those tubes can be filled. And if they're filled, when you put your message in, it gets in line. It's going to be delayed by anyone that puts into that tube enormous amounts of material.
She's shocked that I picked her. Like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
It's
so savage. I never get tired of
it's
that.
as if that's a tweet from the president, Tombstone.
Oh.
It could be.
All right.
So I
have a few tweets for you.
We are embarking on one of our newest segments, regular segments.
Yes.
I don't know what we're going to call it. If you guys have suggestions on what we need to call it, audience, please send those in to the show at thefrontporchshow.com, or hit us up on Twitter or on Facebook. Let us know what you think our Twitter segment should be called. We're getting so much fresh news from Twitter. We decided we had to have a segment dedicated to it, especially to Tombstone's favorite tweets of the week.
Yes.
So please, Tombstone, indulge us with your internet prowess.
Should I start with the street lawyer or with John McAfee?
That's your call.
Okay. We'll start with McAfee because he's dumb. John McAfee is one of those crazy libertarians we were talking about earlier, who's just a weirdo, frankly. He made a ton of money in computer security software, and in the process cooked part of his brain on cocaine.
I think he's currently still cooking.
Allegedly. So
Tombstone, there's no
alleged.
There's no alleged.
All right, we'll come back to that. Anyways, he's in the Bahamas right now.
He's gone.
He doesn't want to come back to the United States because the IRS wants money from him, and he doesn't want to give him money. So he's in Bahamas, and he occasionally tweets interesting things about the government trying to kill him, the CIA, the usual, So, but usual. He posted this week. He posted 2 items, and I do not know if there's further context.
I mean,
something came up about Che Guevara this week. I guess it's because I don't know if it was related to what Mayor Wilhelm was doing, because this is from the 24th, and he didn't make his faux pas till Thursday. So de Blasio, that is. Anyway, so John McAfee says, if you call Che Guevara a terrorist, you show your ignorance and your acceptance of the U.S. government's propaganda and lies. If you have not read his diary or know nothing of his life, then it would be best for you to keep your mouth shut on my page.
Wait. Say that again. Let's start.
He basically says Che Guevara is not a bad dude. That's basically what he's saying.
That's what I thought you said, but I wanted you to clarify that, Tombstone.
Yeah. So I have actually read quite a bit about Che Guevara. I shouldn't say quite a bit. I've read some.
Che Guevara was the South American revolutionary who helped the Castros overthrow Cuba.
Thank you for filling in our audience after I neglected to do so. I'm sorry, audience. I have very high expectations of you, so Aaron, thank you for making sure. It's fine.
I want to make sure that the audience knows, because I believe that our audience is a wealth of knowledge, but not everyone has the same knowledge.
And so, well put. That was very diplomatic. I'm extremely impressed by that.
If you recall my picture from Cuba, standing in front of the government surveillance building with the giant picture of Che Guevara on the front of it, and my frowny face. Yes, that was in Havana. That was quite the experience seeing that there. Che Guevara is a bad dude. I don't care what McAfee says.
I've actually read some of what Che Guevara has written, and I've read some of his life story. He was a narcissistic sociopath.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Everything about the man, he cared nothing for the people around him. He abused people.
Oh, he left a trail of death.
He took advantage of women wherever he went, aside from the whole killing people in Cuba during the revolution thing. So he's just not a nice guy. He was Argentinian. He wasn't Cuban.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, not that really matters, does it?
No, not really. But
so
still.
just not a good dude. But hang on, it gets better.
Does it?
Better.
Does it?
It does.
Okay.
The next tweet is
John McAfee defends him.
Che Guevara. Yeah. So someone else says, "What are your thoughts about communism?" And he says, "I have none. Communism here in Cuba." I guess he's in Cuba right now, was never given a chance to reveal its potential or lack of it. Let me finish.
No, this can't be John McAfee.
This is for real. It has been strangled by the U.S. for 63 years. I will say this, and this is the icing on the cake. Cuba has no homeless, but America has millions.
John McAfee has gone off his rocker.
I'll send you the link to this. I'm not making it up.
No, I believe you. I believe you, Tombstone. I believe you.
So
I'm blown away.
Here's what I think is in play here. John McAfee's not a stable individual. He probably hasn't been for like 30 years.
That's obvious from his videos.
And he is really hating the United States right now. It is entirely possible he has gone to Cuba, hiding out from the IRS, and has drunk the Cuban Kool-Aid. That is what I think is happening here. Or maybe he's just snorting the Cuban cocaine. I don't know which it is.
Is he still running? He's still running in 2020.
I think he is. Yes, he has 2020 posted all over his title page, so.
Do you see his picture? His header picture there?
Yeah, I see it.
He's a train wreck, man.
He's a train wreck. But a hilarious train wreck. Anyway, so now you know, real communism has never been tried, even in Cuba.
I have been to Cuba. I've seen the communism. The people there hate communism.
Would you rather be homeless in the United States or have a house in Cuba?
I'd rather be homeless in the United States.
There you go.
Absolutely. Seriously. Because odds are the house that you're living in Cuba is going to collapse under your own weight.
Yep.
And you're going to be homeless.
Just remember the pigs, man. Remember the pigs.
Dude, those pigs.
I wonder what he's doing in Cuba that makes him think that communism is maybe not such a bad idea.
So I want to know why he's in Cuba right now when we are not allowed in Cuba right now.
Well, I don't think he really cares because he's John McAfee.
That's a really good point.
McAfee's a Scots-Irish name. I feel the need to point this out.
Yes. Look, I like McAfee because of his. I just like him. There's things about him I like.
I like the fact that he's crazy. I don't think he's a nice person.
He and Randy Quaid, or not Randy Quaid. Yes, him and Randy Quaid need to get together. I have reached out also to Randy Quaid's people, and they won't respond to me. So
so disappointing.
It's unfortunate because I would really love to talk to Randy Quaid. He's a gem amongst men. If you guys get a chance to go to his Twitter, go to Randy Quaid's Twitter. It's something about the rainbow lights. that he has playing when he records his videos just killed me.
Let me skip to the next thing real quick. This week, Morgan Freeman posted a video of a dude doing some street lawyering.
All right, here we go.
And it is pretty cool.
So we come to this scene where two cops are standing in front of two white cops. I don't want to make this a race thing, but I am merely pointing out what's in the video, what you would see.
So I don't know where this was. I don't know what preceded it. I literally have no context. It just interests me that this conversation, and it looks like it's in California somewhere. It doesn't look like it's in the East.
It's two police officers, two white police officers in, I wouldn't say plain clothes because they've got their gun belts on and everything and bulletproof vests on.
Looks like maybe detectives.
But they're wearing street clothes underneath all that. And then they have approached two black guys on the side of the street, and what they're calling a street lawyer has come up and
there's the guy talking is behind the phone, so you can't see him.
Right, and he is recording.
Okay,
so here we join them.
You shouldn't engage them no information. This is illegal. This is illegal search.
Somebody else stop you today?
No, he ain't got to answer no questions. He ain't got to answer no questions.
Just so you know, I got a body camera.
It don't matter. It ain't on though right now. You didn't press the button. I know law, bro. If you ain't committing no crime, you ain't got no business right here asking no question, interrogating them. This is a legal detain. What crime was committed? Who would they say was watching? Who they said that did it? Who are you looking for? What's the person's name? What's the description of the person, officer? What's your badge number? What's your badge number?
Rosenbaum 161.
161? Okay. I'll be calling your office. They know who I am, Toy Battle. This is a legal search. You ain't supposed to do none of this. This is a legal stop, too. You got suspicion?
I'm not stopping.
You got suspicion? Well, you ain't supposed to ask that, though, because you're running them right now in leads.
You're free to go right now.
Yeah, you is free to go. He is free to go. He always free to go. And don't ask somebody else on how with their name without them committing crimes. That is illegal. Y'all time is almost up. All right? Don't ask nobody their name and their ID. That's illegal.
Everybody good out here?
Yeah, everybody always good out here. We only good when you ain't out here manipulating people. Have a nice day. Stop scanning people's names. Find some real criminals.
Man.
Because next time it might cost you your badge. Yeah, for real. You know what the ultra-various law is? Stop breaking the law.
Ultra what?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But
that is wild.
I have no issue with what I just saw there. I have no issue with what I just saw.
I really wonder what they're asking.
Well, he averted to it in the comment there. There was some crime went down, and they were there asking the guys for their names and stuff so that they could run them through the system. So that if there was a hit, they'd arrest them, figure out if they were part of the crime that happened before. And so that's wrong. Papers, please. Papers, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Papers, please.
Exactly.
Man, that really just ticks me off, Tombstone.
Don't be ticked off. The good guys. I
know the good guy won. Okay,
got away with it. The good guy got away with it. They won. Yes. I don't know if anybody got away with anything, but
so my contributions from Twitter this week, Tombstone.
Yes, I think I have one more.
Oh,
go
do
ahead.
you? Do you?
No, go ahead. We'll trade.
So let's intersperse here. Marianne Williamson.
Yes.
Marianne Williamson is running for president, and this is why I want her to.
I need a single word that describes Marianne Williamson. I actually know what I would pick.
I'm going to go with spiritualist. I don't know, man.
Say namaste.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. I like it, Tombstone.
Man.
Where is? I lost the tweet, Tombstone.
Don't lose the tweet.
I lost the tweet. The tweet. I can't find it. Well, let me just read some of her tweets. Anytime any of us move from fear to love, we participate in the morphic field out of which we emerge new possibilities for life on Earth.
Wow.
Did you get that?
That was amazing. Very deep.
Your body is merely a space station from whence you beam your love to the universe.
That's a classic.
Don't just relate to the station, relate to the beams.
Wow.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
That is so Southern California.
You're a lamp.
It's like you couldn't be in more Southern California if you tried.
You're a lamp. God is the electricity. You're the faucet. God is the water. You're a human. God is the divine within you. Allow the flow. Here we go. One more. I'll grace you with one more. Tombstone, your mind is like an airplane, and you are the pilot. Rise above the clouds. Fly above the turbulence. Seek a smoother ride. All right, Tombstone, your tweet.
How can I possibly follow that up? All right, from Twitter user Spotted Toad. This kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about the Uber driver that Trump is. Trump isn't actually anti-intervention. He's just so erratic that it's kept us from actually following through on any particular disastrous course of action for as long as a more consistent and competent administration would have led us into. I don't want to believe this, but I do believe it. I can't not believe this.
My favorite tweet of the week was Wednesday night when Trump tweeted, "Boring," in response to the Democratic debate.
I still wish Ivanka would amputate his fingers, thumbs.
Well, yeah. Be funny if she did. We'll close out this segment with this tweet, Tombstone.
Close it.
We go back to Marianne Williamson. A gray sky is actually a blue sky covered up by gray clouds. A guilty person is actually an innocent soul covered up by mistaken behavior.
This show is mistaken behavior.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
Yay!
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff. And it told him to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
This wars off spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute, which has been passed down from thousands of years ago from my great-great-grandfather who was Irish. I just came to help out.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I want to know where to go. I want to go. Give me the go. I want to go.
Well, here on the Front Porch Show, we have the gold every week. Every week, we deliver the gold. Tombstone. Yes. We got a text on our message line. I didn't know our message line got texts until, 2 weeks ago.
Can I send a text?
You can send a text to the message line. Try it. 1-402-799-1811. So you can actually...
Why don't you tell me that number again?
1-402-799-1811. It's almost like we're doing an ad for the message line on the show as we're speaking, which I think we actually are. I'm pretty sure you can send it a text. You can call it. You can text it. You can do other things to it, I guess. You can insult it.
Will you be able to see if it comes in?
I will. Send it.
It should be there.
Oh, well. I'm waiting. Oh, it
402.
says. Oh, no, I got it. It says,
okay,
tell me a dad joke.
Do it.
So we got a text a couple weeks ago saying, and I didn't realize it was a text. I thought it was a message, and I didn't have the capability of playing the message. So therefore, we didn't actually play the message on the air. Well, it wasn't an actual message to play on the air. Anyways, so it was a text that said, got to talk about dad jokes. And I was thinking about dad jokes, right? And dad jokes, the problem with dad jokes is dad jokes are completely situational.
Yes.
You can't just make up a dad joke.
It's some people have achieved that fine art, but most of us...
Well, we're not. Tombstone, you and I are young fathers. We're
young fathers. Many years of experience yet to go. I expect by the time my kids turn 15, 16, I'll be able to pull a dad joke out of thin air.
I'm hoping
like a rabbit out of a hat.
I'm hoping the 13, 14 just to embarrass the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that's wishful thinking, but that's just me. Yeah, it's just situational, and so you can't really force a dad joke, but. If I may mimic Justice Thomas, I know a dad joke when I see one, and sometimes you just have to let them happen.
Yep.
I want to take us to Germany for the last segment here. What? You didn't like that segue?
I can't. No, I can't. I can't say it. I can't say
Well,
it.
then text it to me. Text it to me, because you can't just leave me hanging like that. We head to Germany, to a massive explosion in a cornfield near Albach, Germany. Albach, Germany. Germany is a very interesting place because every year they end up finding bombs.
They call it the Iron Harvest.
It sure is.
Because apparently the United States and probably Britain bombed the absolute poo out of it during World War II.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So there's still, they call it UXO, unexploded ordnance, that's still sitting in the ground and got buried over time, or maybe even during the war.
I mean, in September, last year, September, a 3,000-pound bomb was discovered in Frankfurt, and 60,000 people were evacuated while they defused it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to be the guy who's trying to defuse a 65-year-old 3,000-pound bomb.
That's a lot of very old explosives.
Can you imagine how unstable that would be?
If it went off, you would never know.
No.
They would never find you.
Neither would the 4 blocks surrounding you that you found it. You know, where you found it.
This was actually a plot point in Man in the High Castle, which if you haven't seen, you should see it.
Was it?
Yeah.
I watched it and I don't remember that.
Because they were living in the book. The West Coast is conquered by the Japanese.
The book. Okay, in the book.
Sorry, TV show. TV show. They are living in the West Coast, which is conquered by the Japanese, and they're in the 60s. And so 20 years on, the resistance is pulling chemical explosives out of old bombs that are buried in basements and so on.
Oh, see, I don't remember seeing that. I don't remember that part.
Anyways, total segue. Okay. Anyways, so a friend of mine looked at the photo and he thinks that because that bomb is in a lane between crop rows, a tractor drove over it.
Yeah,
it might have moved it or
somehow
jostled it, and it went off after the tractor drove past.
So they don't. It doesn't give any word, like it doesn't say there was an actual person in the field when it happened.
Yeah,
because it was 4 a.m. But yeah, it's definitely where the bomb was sitting.
Imagine if you were living over the hill, though. That'd be a heck of a way to wake up.
So the tractor, you can see they call them tram lines over in Germany, where the tractors drive, where they've smushed down the crops, or they don't plant crops in that specific area where the tractors can drive to spray and stuff. Anyways, it's right behind one of the tires, like where the tire would be, right on the tire track.
Yeah,
is the center of this crater. The crater's 33 foot wide by 13 foot deep, and
pretty considerable.
Man, that's just incredible, just absolutely incredible.
So I don't know if you knew this, but there are parts of France from World War I where they actually they moved all the people out of them after the war was over.
Really?
There's so much ordnance in the ground that there's no way to remove it all.
Really?
So it's just sitting there. They call it the red zone. The zone
no
rouge.
Kidding.
You can look it up.
I'm looking that up now. Actually, I'm throwing
Alyssa
that up.
Alyssa might know about it.
Red zone, France. Oh,
ask Alyssa if she knows about the red zone.
Do you know about the red zones in France? She says no.
Oh, never mind.
They probably have some weird terminology for that. Have you ever been? You've never been to France?
Never have.
We got to see the American cemetery there in France.
Yeah.
Not the Normandy one. I wish we had seen the Normandy one. This was one along the Rhine River.
Yeah.
And we got to see the Maginot Line.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Just incredible. I mean, you could still see the ditches and the the piles of dirt that were blown up. Like it's just crazy. Okay, so weird segue from Germany back to Georgia.
Yeah. Broken
Arrow. Do you know anything about it?
I only know the term.
Broken Arrow is the term when
it's when you lose a nuke.
We lose a nuke.
Yeah.
And it's happened, I believe it's happened 3 times in our nation's history. And one is still currently unaccounted for in Georgia.
We've actually talked about this on the show.
Have we?
Yeah.
Really? Man.
Yep. It's in the water off Savannah somewhere.
Maybe. Maybe.
Probably.
Is it?
Where else would
in
it
a swamp? There's a lot of swamps down there.
Well, it's in the estuary and the swamp, whatever.
I mean,
I thought I sent you an article about this time last year where a guy in Georgia thought his uncle had hit it with a shrimp boat.
Oh man, that would be gnarly. So my question is this: we've got unexploded ordnance over in Germany that's blowing up in the middle of cornfields. Does that give you any pause, being from South Carolina, that we've got a nuke sitting down there somewhere in Georgia that, another 20 years?
It's not. Whatever's there is not functional.
Could go poof?
No, it's not functional. It could never go off.
You don't think so?
No, it probably wasn't even armed when it hit the water.
I thought it was.
It's not. No, I don't think it was, and it's not waterproof.
And so it would
be the insides would be totally corroded.
You're assuming it's all corroded out.
Yeah,
destroyed.
Whatever, because you have to have. So, for a nuclear bomb to go off, you have to hit the plutonium. If I remember correctly, and I may have this wrong.
A couple different ways of doing it. Yeah.
Two elements have to hit each other at a good amount of speed to make the collision happen.
Yes.
So you have to have explosives to set off that primary charge.
Yes.
I guarantee you those explosives are no longer functional. There's no way.
I hope not.
Not after 50 years.
I hope not. I mean,
even if everything else was intact,
salt water is incredibly corrosive.
Yeah.
So you've got a good point there. Very different than sitting in a field over in Germany.
Right. Well, and that the device in Germany would not be nearly as complex. Because that's true.
That's very true.
That would have definitely been armed when it hit the ground.
Yeah, that's true. So it was sitting there.
Something very small.
How crazy is that, though? Sitting there in a field. Anytime over the last 60 years, that farmer could have driven over that sucker.
I guarantee you that farmer probably checking his life insurance policy.
I would be. Good grief, man! That's wild.
Getting ready to call the local Boy Scouts to come over and go over his field with a. Actually, man, maybe better not to hit it with a metal detector.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bring out your metal detector. Wait. Probably a bad idea. Oh man, Tombstone, thanks for joining me on this verbal adventure tonight.
It's been fun.
It has been. Guys, that's it for today. We will catch you next week. If you want, check out the past episodes. We have over 65. We have less than that. We have 60 episodes up on Spotify and iTunes and all the fun places that you can go. Also, during the week, check out the Facebook page. We post pictures and stuff all throughout the week that you can comment on, like, borrow, steal. I don't care. Some memes. We do some memes every once in a while. Check it out. Check out the Facebook page. Check out the website, www.thefrontporchshow.com. Got details about who we are, what we do, and maybe even some show notes if I remember to post them. We'll catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.